Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, E.T. Tumbler, Supreme Misfit, Professional Dipshit, and it's kind of a low-effort podcast, so if you want to minimize this, grab some snacks or whatever, that's cool, and if not, I totally understand. So a special thank you to the fleet captains over there, the people, the awesome people in this community who donate their time and finances to this small corner of YouTube, and to viewers like you. So let's get into it. I am talking about just something I came up with called Neo-Feudal Capital Rule of the 21st century and the importance of capital and financial resources. So here we go. This is just something I wrote up. It probably makes zero sense, but this is just the way how I see things. And again, I'm not some super educated, I mean, that's pretty fucking obvious, right? I have no degrees. I'm not pretending to be one of these, more smarter than I am people. This is just how I observe things, and not a lot of people are going to agree with it, but here we go. Nothing has changed politically since the medieval era, except for words and weapons. Republics, democracies, or even democratic republics, nothing's changed except an illusion of self-governance. In the United States, there are two ruling parties, Republican and Democrat. Who moves these parties? What moves these parties? Capital of a ruling elite and few. The plebes or people have their voice, but until a person has capital, then they can sway movement within the party. Outside capital, any attempt at political movement is a fool's errand. Oh, without capital. Capital and finance moves these people, not ideology or morality. Capital and finance is the crack cocaine of the ruling elites. Why do you see them rule for decades and decades? Why do you have people like Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and these dinosaurs that have been in power for so long? It's because they're addicted to money and power, and just mainly money. They don't give a shit about the power, but they love the money from lobbyists and corporate donors and the ability to insider trade. All right. Passion fuels the illusion, and plebes are misled intentionally or unintentionally. What remains still since the ancient times are, in our world, barons, royals, kings, and peasants still exist. And where you land in that power structure, like those times of ancient past, it depends on capital and financial resource. How much land do you own? How much money do you have? True power and freedom comes from the capital and financial resources among your family and group. So how I see it is this. We're still very much in a medieval style government. Even in this 21st century, it's all the same. You cannot, escape the box you're put in unless you, ends up being a miracle, or you do, in fact, pull yourself out of the box you've been put in. And clearly, whether you're a fan of Alex Jones or not, there's this illusion, this box of illusion that they put people in. They make you feel inferior. They make you feel stupid. They make you feel powerless depending on where you're from, right? We see this amongst races. They try and build disdain and envy among varying different races, white, black, Jew, Palestine, right? And then they put everyone in these various boxes. And if it's one thing that's quite evident, that the education system in America fails everyone, because they don't talk about finance, they don't talk about capital. Why is that? Because you won't be able to escape the box that they preordain you to be. That's why they don't teach stocks. They don't teach, getting interest in the stock market or bonds or any of that. And I have a very rudimentary knowledge about these things. I'm not claiming to be a stock expert. The only thing I got is Cash App, which sometimes, if I'm not stupid or I'm not wasting my money having fun gambling, you're gonna buy stocks. You can own partial stocks on WhatsApp. So this is kind of a weird, also, financial video, if you're curious. And then I'll circle back to Neo-Feudal Capital Rule of the 21st century. So there's ways, there's Coinbase, there's WhatsApp, there's Robinhood. There's ways where you can invest in the stock market. Now, does this mean you're going to have instant success? Hell no. This just means there's ways to invest, set aside money, and kind of build your own retirement outside available means. And I'll just use myself as an example. I'm currently not working, but through the gracious kindness of people who's donated, I've been able to put some of that in cryptocurrency and stocks, and built a little bit of retirement and safety net for myself. I've even tapped into stocks, the stuff I put in for food, groceries, or just basic needs, necessities, or just the occasional energy drink, right? So if I can do this on a grifter salary on YouTube, you can too if you have a job. So it's all about self-control. If you can skip out a few days on going out to eat, which again for me is impossible to do. I love my fast food and junk food. But if you can just do that every once in a while and set aside that money in stocks, bonds, again through Robinhood, Cash App, or even Coinbase, invest in some Bitcoin, or even just set the money aside. Even if you just set the money aside, you're much more well off than others. There was this statistic that went around saying that the average American only has $300 saved. So if you can break past having only like $300 or more saved, you're doing better than most average Americans. And I chuckle at that, but it's nothing to chuckle at. People, unfortunately, and who knows, maybe you won't ever get to use it. Life is strange and shit happens. But yeah, how you escape the powers of control is building your own capital and financial resource. Someone else has said this before. This isn't my original idea, where they said money is power. How you choose to expend that money, chooses where the power goes. So if you hold on to whatever money you get, that means you have power. So if you, and the long term is always so hard to see, right? You get black-pilled, you get depressed. But if you are able to set aside just a small fraction of whatever money you have day to day, hell, even if it's spare change, which I've done this, right? You pick up pennies you see on the parking lot or whatever. I know people's gonna give me shit for that, but spare coins that you find in the car, set those aside. That eventually, even if it's not enough, even if it's like $4 to $5, that's $4 to $5 that you saved up over a week or month or however, that you could use instead of savings or whatever. So my point is, from a very undereducated, non-degree sense of the world, is to get back. Our current world is a neo-feudal capital rule. You can't tell me otherwise with the lobbyists, corporate interests. Senators are no different than the barons, royals, and kings of past. Even with Donald Trump, right? I like the guy. I'd even call myself a royalist to him. But even with him, right? Do you think he would be able to get as far as he did if he didn't have the influence, the capital, or financial resources he has? Of course not. So, and there's never really been a poor man's president, has there? Except if you look at George Washington. But it is evident to me that, again, the United States and the West is a neo-feudal capital system. And they want you to keep consuming and wasting your money on dumb crap as well. And they just meaning capitalism, the government, finance. So if you truly want to start your path to being free, is start building capital on your own finances. Save coins, save a few dollars here, a few dollars there. What I also do sometimes is I put a few dollars. If, like, let's say if I spend a 20, right? If you still use cash money, you spend a 20, and maybe you get $15 worth of shit, right? And then you have $5 left, 5 ones or a $5 bill. You put that in a little Ziploc baggie, and then you just find somewhere to set that aside in your safe, under your bed, wherever, and then that's an emergency fund. And then you just build that over time, and I've done that, and I've used it in times where I needed money or I needed to buy something or food. You never know. Again, I'm coming from a very privileged situation in my life where I still live with family. I don't pay rent. So again, people's experience may differ. But if you can save, put money in the bank, and squirrel away resources, the more powerful you will become. The more powerful you will be in of yourself. So, if there's anything I'm trying to say here, it's that our world is the illusion of power, of self-governance is an absolute illusion. The real power comes, of course, like so many centuries ago, with owning land, owning stuff, things, having money, having that capital. And that's how you make influences. If you can create a group of people, if you want to make changes politically, that's how you do it. Foreign communities, foreign groups, and this just goes out to everyone. I don't exactly care who uses this knowledge. Form committees, form groups of your own financial sectors, form guilds or whatever. I don't care, but if you are upset with the current system, you disrupt it by having capital and financial resource. That's truly how you change things. Money makes the world go round, and whatever sense of idealism or morality you have, set that aside when concerning politics, because everyone within the Senate, House of Representatives, even judges, I fully believe that they're just there in it for the money. And of course, some of you are going, well, no shit, Captain Sherlock. And that's fine. But yeah, what moves people is money and capital, financial resource. Also, there's also silver and gold. If you can manage, if you can save up enough to get yourself a little ounce of silver or gold, do that as well, because that will also empower you. Then you have, more power. So again, to wrap this weird little podcast up, and hopefully, this helps someone. But even if you're in financial dire straits or whatever situation you may be in, you can even set aside coins. You know what? This isn't a big, complex thing like people make it. The established order of education, government, has made it seem impossible for you to save money, right? Oh, what's the use? What's the use? They teach this very black-pilled thing. What's the use of saving? Your car's going to break down one day or whatever. No, that's not always the case. And if you're setting aside a small little portion, that gives you power. And again, in closing, one more time, capital and financial resources are what gives you power. It's not your vote. So plan accordingly, start saving, and that's how you do it. And not only that, with the more money you save and emergency funds you set aside, that's things you use, again, in a case of emergency, or if you just want to, in my case, go gambling one day, which is very terrible. Don't fucking do that. All right. So, just throwing it out there. This is just some weird podcast thoughts that I had during church or not, which I should have been paying attention to that instead of writing this out and coming out with this sheer rambling about Neo-Feudal Capital Rule. And I fully believe that our democratic republic is an illusion of self-control. It really is, because none of us really have power over our senators or representatives. Like, you have a phone number, you can call them and tell them which way how to vote, but they don't check their fucking phones. They have an intern check that and take notes on the 3 or 4 they listen to. But yeah, I don't intend to be a black pill video. This intends to be like a white pill podcast. So anyone can save no matter what situation you're in. And power comes from the amount of money you have. And where you choose to spend it dictates where that power goes. So if you hold on to more of it, the more power you gain. Again, this comes from a very rudimentary knowledge and a person who's, 33, autistic, maybe mildly retarded, but you get the point. So just save, cut back on fast food. That will also help you with your health. I know for myself that's a big issue, a big ask. So there we go. I'll end it here for the third time. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Hopefully you found this interesting, or my take on this interest. God bless. Stay happy. Stay healthy. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have